Just looking at it. One thing I'm looking at here is this Dubu pick, Nicki Minaj with the adrenaline rush. This is something that has been practiced actually. Knowing a little bit about them, and I'm interested to see we'll go off Flambeau on one of his signature picks here on the Juno as well. So very standard from the rest of the handless dogs. So going into it here though, you see Flambeau already getting an advantage, and that's the Dubu that we kind of know and love there in the offense. So right now it is going back and forth, but runs 3 here. This twin drive pick I think going to be very strong here to deal with at the Atlas.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, as we're getting into it already, we're gonna see that first goal. And I think this side of Handless Dogs has some really fun opportunities with their characters. Like Weston and Nicki Minaj and Mr. Flambeau can all kind of run around the map, and with their creations and kind of their awakenings, I'd imagine it's going to be pretty easy for them to kind of run all over the other side. However, on the other hand, we do have a relatively typical comp coming out from Furret here, so I could definitely see them performing some shenanigans on their side too.
For sure, I think that especially against this Asher, there might be some abuse there with the hit stun. I think that Rasmus, potentially something that could tear open any goalie, given enough time, definitely has the tools for it. And speaking of tearing goalies apart, good death touch from Overgrown Lemon lets an easy goal for Ripstick go through 1-1 here in the first set.
Yeah, that was a really good team play from the side of Sarum, from the side of Furret. And I mean, now we're kind of seeing where this side of Furret is going to shine, because they're able to just, if Overgrown Lemon has some abilities up, or if Angle Senpai are able to stun or kind of prevent Weston from defending those. Asher goalie, if she's not able to be in the same spot as the core, it's going to be pretty difficult for you to defend the core, such as how we saw that barrier go down there. Overgrown Lemon was able to just kind of pass it around, and Weston was a sitting duck with Asher, who doesn't have all that much great movement.
Agreed. No mobility right now, definitely being felt here by Weston, but the double flip comes through just to get the extra sauce going. Even though you're down in energy, you're going to be up in points. Nicki Minaj taking the goal here on forward Dubu.
Yeah, I mean, that forward Dubu is going to be going pretty strong. It's not a very common pick to see, especially in a league such as this, but I think if you play it correctly, you can win, because Dubu, mainly a goalie character, but already we've seen that Dubu take a couple characters off the map. And I think, yeah, Nicki Minaj does have that adrenaline rush, so if they are able to catch a sneaky little secondary on the side of Ripstick, or on the side of Furret, they might be able to get something going with that, like they did earlier in the game.
Yeah, right now we do see Firewall Sentry coming through. Weston winning the strike war against Overgrown Lemon. The Tofu Fortress comes out, doesn't find the KO, and that's immediately going to cost Handless Dogs the point. Overgrown Lemon, a great strike, taking advantage of that slow mobility here. That strike shot, if it's not up, Weston's not really able to cover the full net, so if that happens, that will be a dire situation for the Dogs here.
Yeah, definitely. But, I mean, so far, they do have a flip up on Weston, so as we saw in the first point, maybe they'll be able to get kind of a reverse on Furret and maybe get something going here. But already we're seeing a 0.5, and I think these awakenings going into the next set could be pretty useful, so I think it's pretty important to see who is going to come out on top in this set, take that first bar for their name. And I mean, already the barrier is going to be going down for Furret, but they do have 2 flips up, so we'll see what they can do with those.
One flip going to be used here on the defense. Ripstick equipped to deal with that situation. Slime comes through, doesn't get the goal. Now flip comes out from Angle Senpai, just to get the core forward here. Now Weston electing to use his flip. Nicki Minaj, the last person with flip, elects to use it right there, and oof, right through, threads the needle. Angle Senpai, unfortunately, doesn't have the clear, probably as a result of Ripstick's secondary, which means that a close set goes the way of the Handless Dogs. Nicki Minaj pick the litter, and well, there's something interesting here, maybe.
Oh yeah, I mean, first of all, we do get the triple spark pickup, so somebody's going to be left with 1 spark and then only 1 more spark on the board. However, to begin with, we are going to see a Stagger Swagger on Nicki Minaj's Dubu. That's something that Dubu really needs, and that's speed. Because right now he's not really able to get much speed going, but I think with that it could be pretty useful. On the other side, we do see Ripstick pick up Rapid Fire, which could be nice and handy for just saving the core. That primary is super fun. And also we're going to see a stacks on stacks pickup for Overgrown Lemon 5. So a lot of speed in that draft, but also we are going to see some that singular spark going down to Weston as well. And Mr. Flambo's getting some more damage with that stinger.
See, I'm definitely looking at that Rapid Fire. I think definitely going to be a bit of an issue to get through, especially if that prime time comes through for Ripstick. That's going to be a 5 ability Atlas. Right now, Nicki Minaj playing some corner offense, almost taken off the map there by the glitch pot from Angle Senpai. But Flambo now picking up some of that slack after a near-death experience from his brawler. Clear comes through topside, Nicki Minaj there to intercept, pops that black hole, but no issue. Stagger Swagger will be there to clean that up. Weston now on the top side, Path Splitter comes through, burns the flip from Angle Senpai, and Dubu giveth. We'll see if Dubu taketh later, but for now, Flambo finds himself with possession. Angle Senpai there in the midfield, but taking a lot of damage. Potentially an adrenaline proc rush for Nicki Minaj here. Not at the right angle though. Flip comes through and boom, right into the top side. The creation there from Atlas, unfortunately not able to stop the core. The Handless Dogs find themselves advantage here on set number 2.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, Angle Senpai was covering that position very well until, of course, they got staggered by Nicki Minaj and forced to move away from that potential defensive situation. And unfortunately, Atlas, Ripstick doesn't have Strike Shot either, so wasn't quite able to cover too much of an area in that goal, which ultimately led to that first point taken for the side of Handless Dogs. But I mean, we're seeing 3 flips up on the board. Ripstick just using his, so I mean, I could see the Handless Dogs making a bit of an offensive and getting their second point here, but I mean, it's up to Ripstick and this Atlas to kind of keep it away, keep this defense going.
And a good defense right now, right? Nicki Minaj, and that's basically a second goalie right there, especially with that flip. Now one going to be used here by Weston. Flambo there to catch the clear. A flip comes through by Nicki Minaj to get KO. First adrenaline rush proc. Tofu Fortress comes it through, gets the second barrier. Strike doesn't come out though, as Ripstick and Overgrown Lemon now tasked in the 2v3 defense here in the power play. Overtime comes through, 1v1 situation goes the way of Overgrown Lemon, now an open net for both teams. Zangle Senpai, no! Strikes it right into the blobbo as ChatGPT types out a goal and uses many end dashes while doing it. 2-0 Handless Dogs.
Oh yeah, really good play from Mr. Flambo from the side of Handless Dogs, but ultimately that did come down to that little AI taking that point. So 1 point on the board for the AI, and we're gonna see if Mr. Flambo is able to get that next goal. But right now we are seeing some pretty even offense. Ripstick does have that flip up though, so it could prove pretty useful. I mean, but right now though, we're seeing so much damage put onto Overgrown Lemon without really much damaging characters on the board.
Yeah, agreed. And open it now for the Handless Dogs. That being said, a flip here for Flambo. Gets that final barrier. Overgrown Lemon, an ambitious shot, but actually makes it work. An amazing pull there on the flip side. Winning so many 1v1 interactions so far this game. Actually, incredibly impressed with their performance. It feels like Weston's on a defense, melee goalie, something that's been incredibly powerful so far in this meta. But despite that, it really feels like Overgrown Lemon is finding as many opportunities as he needs. And with a power play now, this is just going to only get better. A flip up here for Angle Senpai. Nicki Minaj not at a flip herself. Tries to go for a somersault KO, but not going to find anything. Now Angle Senpai electing to use the flip here. The Death Touch not finding the correct moment right now. But no matter, the flip gets it open net. And boom! An amazing pendulum swing. Gets through Weston before he gets that flip. 2-2 here on set number 2.
Yeah, I mean, Overgrown Lemon doesn't need... I mean, it has gotten such a powerful opportunity and keeps just pushing it right through Weston, even on that Asher goalie. And I mean, that's the second time right there that we've just seen Overgrown Lemon take matters into their own hands. But, I mean, it might not be enough as... Oh my gosh, very good offensive side from Handless Dogs. But, on the other side, Overgrown Lemon takes that 1v1 and is able to win it to open up both barriers for the side of dogs. Now barriers open. Oh, and that's gonna be the set for the side of handless dogs. But I mean, it's been a set. It's been a 0.5 both times. So we're gonna see what's gonna happen with these next awakenings, and we might be looking forward to another 0.5 here in the next set.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this prime time. It's not going to follow the Atlas, but it'd be incredibly powerful. It did. And you mentioned 3 sparks coming down, which means that it's going to be bad for Weston. But if your last pick on the second draft and the spark is there, you're kind of chilling. You're going to get something good no matter what. And yeah, there you go. Prime time going to be denied away from the Atlas, and there's actually not too much otherwise to take. Yeah, just elect to do the deny instead, which opens up some interesting dynamics here. The 1-2 punch here from Weston, I think, going to be a bit interesting. Does have a bit of course speed now under his belt, which I think could prove a little disastrous here for the IME in the midfield should it come to pass. Right now, we'll see what happens as Overgo Lemon, been performing so wonderful, so great right now, and we'll see if he's be able to keep that up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Overground Lemon has been playing super well and also got that explosive entrance, so we're going to see how well that works out. But, I mean, on the defensive side as well, we are seeing a very good save from Ripstick to keep it away. And, I mean, Ripstick has been doing a great job. I think they just haven't been able to quite defend against some of those offensive from Dog. But on the other side, I mean, Weston is also going to lose that barrier. So it's both barriers down for the side of Dog, and now it's just up to the side of Furret to get that core past him.
And it'll be up to Overgrown Lemon, who, just as I say it, just kicks it in very casually, gets that rebound off the bottom corner, and it's been looking rough, narrowly losing it on 2 sets here for the side of Furret, but they'll still keep going right now. They'll still keep trudging along now up on this set. All cooldowns down here from Nikki Middleton. Does get 1 barrier for her troubles, though. We'll see now. Will Overgrown Lemon be able to make it back? Not quite sure. 1 barrier does go down. Angle Senpai with the flip sends it right into the slimes. Unfortunately, the pendulum swing not going to make it either. Ripstick, good clear downward. Now open space to play with. A back pass, though, going to get intercepted by Mr. Flambeau. Firewall Sentry against the slime there. Little AI versus AI battle. As Overgrown Lemon now face another situation, 2v3. Nikki Middleton electing to use her evade here, but Stagger Swagger might be able to come through. Gonna find herself staggered right now. Overgrown Lemon looking to find the kill. Whiplash gonna be evaded through. As Weston now playing a little bit more aggressive here with the flip. Flambeau trying to do something here with this 2v1 situation, but not gonna be found. Overgrown Lemon here in the corner yet again. Not Rasmus's strong suit, but something that Overgrown Lemon has been able to work with so far as we go back into a bit of a lull here in neutral.
Yeah, but right as you're saying that, we're going to see that Death Touch able to pull Weston out, like it out of position, as it has been happening so often, thanks to Overgrown Lemon and just very effective use of that. But on the other side, we're also going to see that barrier go down. So now both teams have open barriers. Overgrown Lemon has been very, very strong in these 1v1 situations, and as we're gonna see right there, Mr. Overgrown Lemon 5 is able to just push it right through Mr. Flambeau and Weston. Weston just not able to make it all the way up to the top of the goal line in time, and I mean, Overgrown Lemon uses that explosive entrance speed to just get it right through Weston, and now we are gonna be able to see Furret up 2-0 in the set, and they could be looking to start their potential reverse sweep here.
Yeah, and speaking of just speed, right? This is a stacks on the Rasmus, not even fully stacked, right? And if you are going to make this comeback here on the set, you're going to have to find a KO at this Rasmus at one point, or else you're going to find yourself in a lot of situations where the speed is just going to make him ungovernable. An amazing flip from Overgrown Lemon there. A bit of a misclear into the Firewall Sentry is going to be managed, though, by the forward duo of the Handless Dogs. But unfortunately, hey, Brawler in the net, you can only do so much. As right now, after 2 heartbreaking losses earlier, finally a set goes the way of Furret. We'll see what they get here in draft.
Yeah, I mean, those first 2 sets were super close, both 0.5s, and now we're seeing Furret just come right in, and they won that set 3-0. So now, hopefully, we're gonna see Aimi Angle Senpai get rewarded with that super surge. And I mean, that's going to be proven pretty useful. Weston is able to pick up some size with that recovery drone. Never going to complain about that, especially on a character like Asher. However, we're going to see that heavy impact, which means that that Overgrown Lemon, who has had such a dominating performance so far in this game, is going to have more cooldowns, more damage, and more pressure ultimately onto Weston and the defensive side of Handless Dog. So we could see how useful this draft ends up being. But honestly, I'm seeing some super good picks from the side of Furret, and I mean, it could prove super strong here as we are getting into this fourth set.
Yeah, you know, I'm told that I talk about Awakenings too much, but I just want to take a second to recognize this build that Nikki Middleton has achieved on Dubu of the Unbugged, the Unbugged Titans Prime Time, a Tread Rush Stagger Swagger, which is like the most not build I think I've ever seen, but clearly she's making it work here, finding 1 KO. Second might be soon to follow, but Overgrown Lemon, the boys angle coming through. As Angle Senpai almost taken out by the Tofu Fortress right here. Overgrown Lemon has to play his life. This leaves Angle Senpai in a 1v2 situation, or picked up though for the Brawler for it, which means potentially another opportunity here, but unfortunately a bit of a non-reaction from Ripstick. Unfortunately gonna let one through, but hey, you know, you're a melee goalie, sometimes you just fall asleep at the wheel. We get it, we've been there.
Yeah, I mean, Ripstick, I think, was also stuck in that animation for the primary, and they did buffer that strike, but it unfortunately didn't come out in time. What did come out in time, though, is Angle Senpai and Overgrown Lemon, both with their secondaries up, Whiplash and Cyber Swipe respectively, able to open up the barrier and also open up Mr. Flambeau's life, as now we see what was a power play turned bad, and, I mean, we're gonna see both barriers down, both goals open here for both teams.
Yeah, Angle Senpai finds themselves with possession of the core. Good glitch pop into Cyber Swipe combo. Gets the hit stun that he needs here. 1-1 in the set. Tied up here between Furt and Handless Dogs.
Yeah, and I mean, what we're going to have to see, I mean, we want to see Handless Dogs really want to close this out, but at the same time, Furt is definitely not out of it yet. And I mean, they're playing really well, but they just have to be able to convert on some of these power plays. And I think they're trying to do that now with Overgrown Lemon having that flip up. Angle Senpai also has that flip up. So I think it might be time for them to use those flips, take flight a little bit, and hopefully get something going if they want to win this set.
Yeah, and finally 1 KO going the way here of Furret, Overgrown Lemon. Trying to play this corner offense here with a flip, but going to be stuffed out by both the Juno and the Asher. A huge wall here coming through. Finds the power play here, though, and now Angle Senpai gonna be blocked out by the Tofu Fortress. Nikki Middle into somersault, so scary. Every cooldown burned here in the defense on the side of Furret. And they keep the defense going. Firewall Sentry's gonna be here. Glitch Pop comes through as well, but there's really no cooldowns to find any sort of scoring opportunity unless it goes into the hands of Overgrown Lemon. Easier said than done, however, as Angle Senpai gonna find themselves covered by 2 forwards here from the Handless Dogs. Mr. Flambeau now getting some core speed here in the Juno in overtime. A bit scared right now, but it is in the hand of Overgrown Lemon. Strike shot gonna deny any sort of offense from happening, though. Primary comes through from Ripstick, Nikki Middleton now trying to find possession of the core. Gets a strike forward, almost gets a cheeky little goal here on the top side, but gonna be stopped. Mr. Flambeau, perfect dribble. Gets it through Ripstick's secondary. Aesop can never.
I mean, yeah, really good, really strong weight from Mr. Flambeau there. Was able to call out Ripstick's expanse and was able to open up that net. And now Handless Dogs are 1 point away from taking this first game for themselves, which could be really useful here. And I mean, now they're looking really strong as no flips on the side of Furret. And I mean, Weston feeling a bit comfortable moving up with that flip, but it's all up to this right now is very good offense from the side of Dogs, but not quite able to close it out for the time being. And we're seeing Overgrown Lemon looking staggered.
Yeah, Angle Senpai here with a flip. Gets it right through. Reaction check here on Weston. Now another 0.5 here in set number 4. I think every... No. The one set that Furret won was 3-0. But other than that, every set has been a 0.5, and every single 0.5 set has gone the way of Handless Dogs. We'll see what they could do here. One quick goalie barrier going the way of the Handless Dogs. Weston on the defense, loses one, has to defend the second one with his life here. As now Nikki Middleton tries to somersault forward, but it's going to be cleared away into the hands of Angle Senpai. Again, Nikki Middleton trying to desperately win some interactions, get the Atlas. A boys angle comes through in order to protect the goal of Furret. Angle Senpai now in a 1v1 situation against Nikki Minolin. Cyber Glitch Pop comes through, doesn't find anything. Firewall Sentry comes through, finally gets it into the hands of Overgrown Lemon, who now elects to use Flip. Blocked away here by the Juno, though. A cheeky Cyber or Glitch Pop comes through, not able to get that final goalie barrier, though, and now things are looking dire here for FURT. The Flip comes through, defended away by Atlas, but unfortunately it goes down. Glitch Pop again comes through, clear topside Flip for Angle Senpai comes through, but it's not clear yet. The black hole gets popped, sends it right back into the goal net of FURT here as now we enter overtime. Flip whiffed here by Mr. Flambeau. Finally, the goalie barrier goes down. It's an open net, but Nikki Ninolin delivers here, uses the core speed of overtime to her advantage, sends it to the bottom side of the net, and even though it was looking a little scary there for a second, the Handless Dogs pull through.
Yeah, I mean, consistency is king, and what we've consistently seen is that every set that goes to 0.5, the Handless Dogs have been able to close out and take for themselves, and I mean, we saw it once, twice, and then they did lose that third set, but they took that fourth set with, once again, that 0.5 win, and I mean, that's what you're going to be looking for if you are Handless Dogs. I mean, I think all three of them played super well, and they were able to close that out in a lot of really close points, a lot of close sets. However, on the other side, I would like to point out Overgrown Lemon 5 was playing like a god, was consistently getting it through Weston in many of those cases, but I mean, ultimately, we did see Handless Dogs take that first game, and now they're up 1-0 in the series.
Yeah, 1-0. Yeah, and I think Weston, incredibly tough time, right, against the Imi with Super Surge as well as Overgrown Lemon with all that speed. It was really impossible to cross clear, and I think if I am the Asher, I am looking to keep it in the corner, keep it close, and keep it claustrophobic where I am strongest, but even then it was pretty difficult because Ripstick with those momentum boots were able to also help out in those corner offenses, and I think it just made it really hard for Weston to really option select what clear he was going to do or really make the right clear in a lot of situations. And yeah, props to Overgrown Lemon and to Angle Senpai, honestly the entirety of FURT, right? I think they played an absolutely stellar offense, and I think that's how they're going to win here in game number 2, should they keep that momentum going, but we'll see. I don't know how this is going to work, but we're going to cut to a quick break. Ooh, I'm disappearing, bye! I know that Cardsmith Ref is here. He's in the voice call right now, so I think he's going to be cracking a spot. But this is their map. This is the dog. It's Dog Temple down in ISS. But we'll see if it's Dog Temple here in Nasty, where things are a little bit tougher. Spark of Agility cast to last start, and it's going to be one cast to last for Mr. Flambeau. Spark of Agility for everyone else. And honestly, at a Spark start, I'd be picking Sparks no matter what. Honestly.
I mean, fair enough. And I mean, last game they were nowhere to be found. But here they are looking to be very prevalent in this game. But already we are seeing some pretty interesting things happening. We got Ripstick on this Asher. We got Weston on this Atlas. We're gonna see these characters on for these teams that both teams really love to see, and I mean both teams love Taiko Temple. So it's kind of a favorite map versus favorite map here. For both these teams, and I'm looking forward to how this game's going to play out.
Yeah, for sure. And right now, after that, a little bit of a comedic double barrier into not double barrier from Mr. Flambeau. It is going to be slightly advantaged now in open net for the side of the Handless Dogs. Nikki Middleton now trying to buy a little bit of time for Flambeau to get into position. Shrink Break comes out, and good hit. Means that now it's going to be an open net for both teams. X Maximus comes through, doesn't find the strike that Nikki Middleton wants. An excellent bounce off of Taiko Temple, called out and responded with. The drum comes through, and this time the beat goes the way of the Handless Dogs.
Yeah, I mean, really good plays from both teams. We saw that early offense from the side of Furret, and they were able to knock down both barriers. But I mean, Mr. Flambeau Weston and Nick Minolan were able to just slowly dismantle those defensive barriers and ultimately get that goal. But I mean, they got to get that consistently because, I mean, if they can take this first set, it's really a spark on spark game. Whoever gets that first spark is going to be looking to be in a very comfortable spot. So we're going to see if Nikki Milan, Weston, and Mr. Flambeau on the Handless Dogs are able to consistently get these goals going. And, I mean, if they can get them down, then they might be looking at a pretty comfortable game.
Yeah. Notably, you don't want Mr. Flambeau to be getting MVP, because on a full Stark Spark, if the one person in the game is not getting the Spark, that's just going to be super unfortunate. But with Nicki Minaj getting the KO and this barrier, XP is going to go her way here, which means that should this set end very quickly, it might be preferable here to the handless dogs. Oh, excellent bounce from Nicki Minaj there. Almost calls out Ripstick, but eventually she gets it, the core speed on the bell ring. Now a second point goes the way of handless dogs, and looking at that XP, that's exactly what you want for your brawler to be right there in that head. They have a lot of XP. They're going to get MVP.
Yeah, definitely. And if Nikki is able to close out this third goal as well, I think they're going to be pretty comfortably looking at a Furret, Nicki Minaj MVP. But oh no, the flip going into the glitch pop and Angle Senpai accidentally saving the double. And I mean, this is not really what you want to see here if you are a fan of Furret. Furret just trying to close out these goals, but we've seen a failed double barrier for both of these teams, but ultimately it's been Dogs able to close it out. And I mean, now they're the ones with that barrier up. They're the ones looking to maybe get this first set already with the 3-0.
Yeah, Bellringer almost takes Angle Senpai right off. Nicki Minaj just getting the core forward, sending it into the hands of Ripstick. But oh my gosh, the speed from the Flutterfly giving Nicki Minaj the advantage there in the strike. We're able to take it against Overgrown Lemon, and this is perfect. Let's hope some sparks are up for Nicki Minaj to take advantage of, and there is a single spark going the way of X. That's exactly what you like to see. Notably though, that is a rapid fire or prime time to the Asher, which I think could potentially be disastrous should Ripstick get some more cooldown to go with it.
Yeah, definitely. So we're gonna see the big spark pickup for that side of handless dogs, but yeah, as you said, that rapid fire could be really, really useful here. However, we are going to see more than just that rapid fire for the side of Furret. We're going to see Glass Cannon always going to love a bit more speed and more damage on that Aimee, and also a Super Surge on Overgrown Lemon's 5's Zentaro, which Zentaro, a big, big lover of that dash range, especially with an awakening such as Super Surge or Explosive Entrance. You're going to see a whole lot more things that Zentaro can do, so could be pretty useful here. And I mean, I'm just seeing that Primetime and that Timeless Creator, both pretty good awakenings for Weston and Mr. Flambeau, but I think definitely Furret might have won this draft, even with that spark going down to Nikki.
Yeah, I gotta probably agree with that. I mean, some very just big individual pickups, especially if that does snowball into a secondary or into a set taken. But as of right now, it is going to be a power play going the way of handless dogs. Mr. Flambeau getting the core upfield here in the power play, has a flip to work with as well to get through this Asher. So now Nicki Minaj again with possession of the core. Gonna elect to use the last few seconds of the power play just to recuperate and get some HP back instead. Overgrown Lemon though now in a 1v1 situation. X Maximus comes through, gonna be swinging away by Overgrown Lemon. Flip comes out, gonna be actually called out by Overgrown Lemon right now. Pass splitter comes through. Nicki Minaj has a flip if it's needed here on the defense. Let's just get it out the traditional way instead. Flip comes through, a bit awkward here, which means that we're going to be going back and forth here in the neutral game for a little bit, but eventually it goes the way here of the handless dogs. Now Angle Senpai now getting the firewall sentry through. Nicki Minaj has a flip here in the 1v1. This is a little bit scary should the strike war be won, and boom, excellent setup by Mr. Flambeau right into the bull rush. 1 point here for the handless dogs.
Yeah, I mean, some really good teamwork we saw there. Great pass from Mr. Flambeau, great second air from Nicki Minaj, and now they're looking very, very comfortable on this map in this game. I mean, they haven't lost a goal yet, so they're just looking very strong, and it's going to be up to the side of Furret to get something going. But as I'm saying that, Angle Senpai getting taken off the map, Ripstick losing that first barrier, but I mean, we're seeing such a powerful offensive play, such powerful offensive plays coming out from the side of handless dogs. I mean, they are looking very comfortable so far in this game.
Absolutely agreed. And right now, it's Overgrown Lemon forced to lick their wounds here. Actually, gets a lot of work done, but Weston able to crucially defend where it matters. Now Overgrown Lemon finds themselves here, no staggered, no health, no food, no shelter. As Weston here on the defense loses a strike or wins a strike war here against Angle Senpai. Flip comes through just to stall a bit of time for Overgrown Lemon to live. On the flip side, actually a reverse KO found here, which means that it's going to be a power play for Furret here. Firewall Sentry comes through. Overgrown Lemon takes the strike war. And all of a sudden, a reversal of fortunes gives the momentum over to Furret.
Yeah, Nikki was getting a little bloodthirsty there, and Ripstick got a really good call out to take Nicki Minaj off the board. And I mean, they just took that, went swinging, and were able to get it through past the fence. And I mean, now we are seeing Nicki Minaj back up on the board. So I think if the side of Furret is able to get a power play such as we saw there, they can do some really good stuff. But I mean, right now they're able to defend it, keep it away from their net so far, and they're actively attacking this side of the Handless Dogs.
This Tornado looking a little bit dangerous. Mr. Flambeau almost losing his life there in the corner offense, but gets a goalie barrier for his troubles. Trying to win a 1v2 situation. That's going to be hard. It's just a measly error versus an Asher and an Imi. As now the defense has to come through. Ripstick primary comes through here on the midfield to defend the core. Overgrown Lemon tries to intercept, not going to find anything. Flip comes through from Nicki Minaj just preemptively to save her life. Oni's blade comes through, not much to find though in this situation. It's now a bit of a lull here as we enter overtime.
Yeah, but I mean, if the side of Handless Dogs is able to take, as I'm saying that, they're able to take Overgrown Lemon off the map, they're going to be able to get a lot of stuff going. And we already see the barrier go down. Overgrown Lemon is off the board still for another 2 seconds. But unfortunately for the side of Handless Dogs, they are going to lose that power play, and ultimately they're going to lose their first barrier. So it's kind of up to see Ripstick and Angle Senpai with that open net. Ripstick doesn't have a strike shot or anything to keep the core away, so kind of a sitting duck in this defensive line. But that's going to be up to Mr. Flambeau and Nicki Minaj to get something going, get this core into a spot where Ripstick isn't able to do anything.
Yeah, very scary situation there for Ripstick and Angle Senpai to be in. They do get the clear going though, but Nicki Minaj now, Bull Rush comes through to hunt down, doesn't get the goal, again defended away. Asher primary coming in clutch here. NATO finds a KO, but Overgrown Lemon on the other side. Flip comes through, a 50-50. Weston has to predict it, and he does! An amazing sword angle clear to keep the core in play, and now it's looking a little bit difficult here. The primary comes through, almost has enough core speed to actually get it through Weston, but now the power play ends as soon as it begins. Firewall Sentry comes through. X Maximus is here to win anything here in the midfield. Mr. Flambeau passes it up, goes to the Tornado. Flip not able to be intercepted by Nicki Minaj. Flip now comes through. Reaction check going through Angle Senpai, and that was a quick back and forth. But Handless Dogs are victorious.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to see Handless Dogs taking their second point in this set. Now they are on that set point. But, I mean, we saw some shines of hope coming out for the side of Furret earlier on in that point. And I mean, that's what we're going to be seeing, looking forward to, is they get both barriers down for the side of Handless Dogs. And, I mean, they're able to defend it away for the time being. Oh, that's an Overgrown Lemon 5, whose Wi-Fi seems to have overgrown and been too much for the game to handle.
Unlucky here. They do have to play out the point, as is NAS precedent. But we'll see how the defense comes through. It's been held before. It could be held again. As Mr. Flavor, it does seem like they are being a little bit honorable here. The honorable dogs. They may not have hands, but they certainly are nothing but chivalrous. So, as the play comes through, though, Overgrown Lemon going to come through. The Monumentalist Atlas, a little bit difficult to get through. As a bit of an awkward situation here. Nicki Minaj and X Maximus comes through. Oh my gosh, the primary of Ripstick not actually catching it. And despite all of their honor, they're still able to take it victoriously. W Handless Dogs, to be quite honest.
Yeah, I mean, Handless Dogs just wanted to see the fear in the eyes of Furret as they let Overgrown Lemon get back in, but ultimately just kind of forced that goal back in anyways. And no spark here as a reward for Nicki Minaj on getting that MVP for the second time. However, we're going to see reverb if Handless Dogs lose this next set and they're able to get some stagger steal, and that could be useful. However, we are going to see also a lot more speed, that stagger swagger and those stacks on stacks for Weston and Mr. Flambeau respectively. So that's going to be more speed. Never going to complain about that. and then Ripstick might be able to get some of these kills, but I think ultimately Angle Senpai with that explosive entrance and Overgrown Lemon with that Stinger might not be nearly as good as what the side of Handless Dogs have been able to pick up.
Yeah, notably though, not even the KO factor of the Asher here, just that 1 second cooldown on the primary with Rapid Fire is actually going to be quite significant, I think, here in those defenses. So Ripstick actually it's gonna feel a lot harder to get through Ripstick, which might be the difference that Furret need in order to mount a comeback. They've been here before and they've started to scrap their way out of it, and they might just again if given the opportunity.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, those extra cooldowns are going to make Ripstick with that Asher a little more dangerous, as we're going to see there with that shield beam. Going to be able to save it away. And oh, the flip coming up for Angle Senpai was able to lock that goal in the bag. And I mean, yeah, we saw it in the last game. They lost the first 2 sets and they took the third one. So we could see something similar here from Furret in this game, but instead of the last game's results, I think they're looking to just close out the game, win, rather than get that set 4 loss like they did earlier.
Yeah. Even if they do need to win now too, because even though there is a third spark scaling for Nicki Minilin, they're not going to be MVP, right? If they get MVP, they've won the game. So with that reverberation as well, it's like building for a spark of resilience that is just not going to be there, right? And even though they get the goal now, right, they are pressured to close out the set. This is an Era X comp, though. That being said, like, this Era X will scale no matter what. But with the build that Nicki Minilin is going, it can still go places, but it's not gonna. The key Exodia piece is gone, so to speak, right? So there is some opportunities here for Furret, but it is gonna be an uphill battle regardless.
Yeah, definitely. But we're gonna see here if Angle Senpai, Ripstick, and Overgrown Lemon are able to get something going and kind of score these goals. But as I say that, Angle Senpai getting taken off the map, Nicki Minilin, Weston, and Mr. Flambeau all pushing up, trying to get something going here as Ripstick is forced to use that flip. And now it's up to the side of Furret to kind of get something going, even with that power play wasted.
Yeah, KO comes through against Overgrown Lemon now. Angle Senpai in a 1v3 situation. Might have to play for his life in just a second. This tornado looking to fish for KO. Not going to find any, though. It's now Nicki Minilin looking to build space here with that X Maximus. Not going to find too much value outside of the damage. Bellringer comes through as well. One more opportunity now for the Handless Dogs. They're able to get it now in overtime here. Bull Rush, unfortunately, not going to find its target, which means that Overgrown Lemon potentially an opportunity. No secondary going to stop any sort of play before it happens. And now Shrink comes through. The core speed going to be very fast here. The drum very scary to deal with. And Weston, a good primary with the Atlas, gets the goalie goal. And that's 1 point away from Handless Dogs taking their first series of the season.
Yeah, I mean, Weston showing his appreciation for that drum, getting it straight in between that turret from Angle Senpai and Ripstick's lack of a strike. But, I mean, now they're going to be losing their first barrier, and they're going to be... Oh, yeah, they lose their second barrier, too, here, to that flip from Angle Senpai. So now they have that power play in terms of the barriers, and, I mean, it's up to them to close it out, maybe get something going here, even with those great plays that we saw earlier in the press point.
Yeah, good flip from Overgrown Lemon, tried and true 50-50 shot, going the way here of Furret. 1 point, hey, we've been here before. Getting a little bit of deja vu, but hey, if I am remembering correctly, each of these sets have gone the way of Handless Dogs. So if you are Furret and you do want to win the series and it ain't looking good right now, you're gonna want to break the mold starting right here, right now. Nicki Minilin has possession here in this corner offense, dribbling it forward. Flambeau there to back up. Flip comes through, doesn't hit the gore, but gets a hit stun that you need. Weston here playing so aggressive. 1 KO found. Bellringer comes through, 2 KOs found. And now Ripstick's in a 1v3 situation. Critical strike whirlwind comes through. The Asher primary able to get what she needs. That's still a defense going through. Ripstick is going absolutely crazy right now. Overgrown Lemon back in the play. Can Furret win this off the absolutely amazing defense here of Furret? It's going to be a bit hard though. Overgrown Lemon comes through. There's a flip here on Weston, which means it's going to be so hard to get through this Atlas, but that is not impossible. Overgrown Lemon now with possession of the core. Good clearing here from Weston, preventing any sort of offense from mounting whatsoever. X Maximus finally finds what Nicki Minilin needs. They get one barrier in return, but now we are in overtime. Beam not able to find the core, but this is a flip right in front of the net. Bull Rush comes through, but good spacing by Ripstick to prevent anything from happening. Overgrown Lemon able to get it. Ripstick needs to hold in this situation, though, in order to give Overgrown Lemon one more opportunity. This is a 1v1 situation, but Angle Senpai with a steel chair able to get the interception here on the defense with core flip means, though, that this is going to be a little bit scary here. Mr. Flambeau dribbling out forward. Weston, as flip, is going to be very safe, but Ripstick now, with a flip of his own, has the opportunity. Oni's blade is here. The flip parry doesn't come through, but Angle Senpai able to keep possession of the core. Incredibly hard to get through this Aimi here for right now. Flip comes through. Glitch Pop doesn't find the target, but the core is marched forward. Overgrown Lemon going topside to potentially get the clear, but it's only going to find him KO'd. But Angle Senpai, an amazing play from Ripstick, an amazing play from Angle Senpai to keep the core going forward. And Handless Dogs do not win every every point 5 of a set. And FURT keep their playoff dreams, or not their playoff dreams, their series dreams alive.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was a crazy point here. And we are going to see that Spark Resilience picked up for this poor Ripstick. We're going to see 2 sparks now on that Asher, who now, as you said earlier, is going to have that opportunity for more scaling. If Ripstick is able to win this next point with MVP, that is a free spark for Ripstick here. But we are also going to see that extra special on Angle Senpai, that Happy Star, and also Overgrown Lemon 5 getting that built different. Bit more size, bit more cooldowns for the side of Furret. And I mean, you're never really going to complain about that. I mean, honestly, some really good drafting here from the side of Furret, and they won that last set in a very close last point. And I mean, they're looking to just take this one now as soon as they can.
Yeah, Ripstick playing aggressive, feeling great right now. Unfortunately, a little bit of overconfidence, which means that 1 barrier, 2 barriers are now going to go down. Overgrown Lemon on the other side trying to respond in kind, but not able to find anything. Angle Senpai barely living after that whiff strike shot from Weston. Nicki Minilin watching like a hawk for any sort of crack in the armor by Ripstick, but none is going to be found. Weston, fortunately, not able to defend that last barrier. Flip whiffs from Nicki Minilin, which now means this is a dangerous spot here for the side of the Handless Dogs. Overgrown Lemon trying to find something here with the Oni's blade. Nothing to be found. Glitch Pop as well. Doesn't come through, but the Strike Ward does. As now Weston actually caught out by Angle Senpai Cyber Swipe, and a point goes the way for it. They're feeling momentum.
Yeah, Angle Senpai has been super good with these Cyber Swipes, closing out that last set and closing out this first point for themselves as well. And now, I mean, we're going to be very close going, but ultimately, FURT is up. They really love this map. They're playing it very effectively, and I mean, we're gonna see, hopefully, if they can maybe turn something around. But ooh, really good double barrier from Nicki Minilin is going to maybe crush some of their hopes for that. And now, open barrier.
Yeah, open barrier. Flip doesn't come through from Mr. Flambeau, but that's just going to be a flip for flip here from the midfielders of both teams. Possession still the way of Handless Dogs, but an immediate dog pile from Overgrown Lemon and Angle Senpai. Only briefly saved by Weston's revive. 1 barrier now going down, but the offense not over yet. The Stinger actually good at pressure Mr. Flambeau a little bit. So now corner offense comes through for FURT. Ooh, a bit of a harsh NATO there, but the defense is still going to be made. Oh no, this is a tough situation. Nicki Minilin finds the gap in the armor, but they're not able to find the goal. Oh, but the core speed! Okay, I spoke a bit too soon. Nicki Minilin finds 2 gaps in the armor back to back, and that's going to be a point here for the Handless Dogs.
Yeah, that overtime pop, setting that red core going flying past for its defenses, as Ripstick not quite fast enough to reach that. But I mean, now it's 1-1 in this set. And I would like to point out, Mr. Flambeau does have those full stacks on stacks now, so we're gonna see a midfielder era that is going to be flying with that Castellast and those full sparks or full stacks as well. So that's gonna be really useful here, but it might not matter if Overgrown Lemon not quite able to get that barrier open.
Yeah. It's something to note as well as Overgrown Lemon pressuring. I just hit tab, and if if you're looking at this era build, this is prime time. Heavy impact stacks, cast the last era. This is a nasty primary. I've talked about this with Hook Resets. He thinks that heavy impacts is as good. And amazing gold, by the way. Just cinema, by the way. I'm sorry, I did the thing where I talked about Awakenings too much because I love Awakenings. I love Awakenings. But this is a prime time heavy impact. Hook Resets thinks that heavy impact, if you're playing with it correctly, is as good, if not better, than rapid fire because of the cooldown refunds that you could get with it. So that's a bit dastardly. Overgrown Lemon and I think Angle Senpai gonna find themselves shrunk a lot. I think that's gonna make it very hard to find a comeback. But right now, you don't need to shrink if you just get goalie barriers here. This Overgrown Lemon in a 1v1 situation. Weston, though, comes out on top. No! Overgrown Lemon rewrites the script on that one. And now, Nicki Minolin with the flip. The Bull Rush comes through. Every flip comes through, but it goes the way of the Handless Dog. And hey, we've been here before. I sound like a broken record, but again, we find ourselves 0.5 this set.
Yeah, it's 0.5 once again, but as we saw in the last one, we did see Angle Senpai able to close it out with the Cyber Swipe. So rather than the first game where Handless Dogs were winning all these, we could maybe be seeing a Furret able to close out this set here in the 0.5. But right now, Overgrown Lemon is gonna have to stay alive. Is able to pick up that orb, but I mean, so much damage is coming out, so much scaling pressure, and as you said, that Era has such a strong build, is able to help out their team so very much as this game's going on.
I thought that was a double barrier. That would have been insane, but the play is not done yet. The corner offense is going the way of the Handless Dogs. Angle Senpai gonna be damaged, gonna be knocked around, but Ripstick still holds. The Glitch Pop comes through just to keep himself alive. Weston now on the defense. Secondary comes through, but Overgrown Lemon, maybe one more opportunity. No, elects to play it safe and walk away, regenerate their health. Now all three members of the Handless Dogs here are gonna hole up on defense. Another situation here in overtime that we've seen before. Goalie barrier comes down, Nicki Minolin dribbling it off the goal or the drum, but no, not able to get that final strike where the flip is here though. The reaction check doesn't even need to be made. The Bull Rush is gonna be the thing that takes it in the end. The Handless Dogs, even though it was an almost amazing comeback from Furret, unfortunately the Dogs are out. They're here, they're woofing, and they are bargained their way to the first series win in Season 6.
Yeah, I mean, Nicki Minolin did a really, really good job just pushing that core straight through. But, I mean, as we saw in the last game, the side of Furret did a really, really good job defending and offending as well. I think both teams were really, really strong, but ultimately it was some of those just crucial mistakes from both sides that ended up losing their sets, losing their points. And I think ultimately we are going to see the Handless Dogs come out on top in that set 4 once again. And I mean they got 3 of the 4 of those set 5 or 0.5 wins there. Yeah. So I mean, consistency is key, and both these teams had some really, really, really strong plays. We saw Ripstick with that, I think, with that really, really strong 1v3 with that 13 seconds pretty much just of that constant pressure from Handless Dogs, and they didn't lose that barrier. But I mean, ultimately it does come down to there were just a few goals that came screaming by. Ripstick didn't have that strike shot either, which means that while strike shot definitely is not 100% necessary, it makes things a whole lot harder to defend when you're by yourself in that net. So I mean, really good plays from both sides, but ultimately we were able to see the Handless Dogs close that one out.
Yeah, this is just week 1. This is just week 1. We're already getting some exciting games. I think that especially NASA, but especially NASTA, but including NAST, I think the lower leagues have never been as close as they were before. It really feels like even the bottom of the power rankings can take games off of the top of the power rankings, and we'll see how the regular season turns out. We've got a long season of Omega Strikers coming up, but for now, me and Patat will be heading on out. We'll be transitioning over into the next game on the stream. I don't know how it's gonna work, but we're going into our next game. But listen, Patat, you have anything to say?
I do not know.
煮え切らない思い抱えてなんとなく過ごした日々説明のつかない感情難しいこと